If your God is threatened by a woman's hair, then he despises his own creation. And that God is not mine. This is not a theory, this is not commentary, this is not a Western woman peering in with opinions. This is memory, this is muscle memory, this is survival memory. I lived inside that system, I was formed by it, I was trained by it, I believed it. I was taught my gender was an error. That my existence was tolerated, not celebrated, that men were favored and women were managed. That obedience was safety and silence was holiness. That male anger was righteous. And female presence was provocative. I learned early that beauty was dangerous. That desire was sinful. And that my body was a liability I did not choose. That was not faith, that was fear, that was not devotion, that was disappearance. The veil was never symbolic to me, it was punitive, it was corrective. It was a sentence handed down for being born female. Honor was not morality. It was ownership. When you are told your testimony is worth half in a court of law, you don't just accept inequality. You install it as theology. When you watch girls vanish into marriages before childhood is finished, you learn that womanhood itself is criminal. When rape victims are jailed for adultery, you understand the system was never built to protect women, only to control them. When a man can end a marriage with words, while a woman must beg courts, families, and gods, you realize partnership was never the goal. Possession was. And when girls are denied education because educated women are harder to dominate, the truth becomes undeniable. Ignorance is not sacred, ignorance is strategic. I did not flee because I hated God. I fled because I was searching for him, and when Jesus found me, he did not demand my erasure. He demanded my resurrection. He did not quiet my voice. He restored it. He did not shame my womanhood. He sanctified it, he did not tolerate me. He called me by name. He gave me back my dignity, he gave me back my body, he gave me back my mind. He gave me back my life. Freedom was not rebellion, freedom was revelation. And revelation is the most dangerous thing a woman can experience under tyranny. Naming what shaped me. There are Muslim-majority nations where rape victims are imprisoned. I was taught this logic. There are Muslim-majority nations where girls are sold as brides. I knew those girls, some were classmates, some were neighbors, some simply disappeared. There are Muslim-majority nations where daughters are honor-killed. And the state looks away because male rage is baptized as divine. There are Muslim-majority nations where morality police assault women for failing male definitions of modesty. I lived beneath that threat, I lived inside that silence, I lived under that theology. And I believed it was God. But God is not a jailer. God does not author cages, God does not erase women to glorify himself. Oppression hides behind religion. Because religion is the last place people think to look for cruelty. What oppression does to the mind. Oppression does not stop at laws. It migrates into the nervous system, it rewires thought, it trains fear. It teaches self-surveillance. I learned to police my own mind, to shrink my dreams, to apologize for breathing, to disappear myself for survival. And when Jesus resurrected me, the first miracle was not mystical. It was psychological. Freedom rewired my brain, visibility reintroduced me to myself. Dignity stitched my soul back together. This is why liberation for women under Islamic regimes is not political rhetoric. It is neurological, it is spiritual, it is generational. What I am and am not attacking. This is not an attack on Muslims as people. This is an indictment of systems. I am naming Islamic patriarchy. Islamic legal structures, guardianship laws, honor cultures. Sharia weaponized by regimes. These are the cages I escaped. And I stand today for the liberation of women still trapped inside them. Those who cannot speak. Because speech itself is dangerous. Scripture does not side with tyranny, it is for freedom that Christ has set us free. Galatians 5:1 So God created humankind in his own image. Genesis 1:27 He has sent me to proclaim freedom for the captives. Luke 4:18 Where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. 2 Corinthians 3:17 Any God who requires a woman's disappearance to maintain authority is not God. And I will never bow to a theology that calls oppression holy and fear faithful.